Speed. I am Speed. 1 winner, 42 losers. That's how we start live. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Nate.
Sarah.
3 drinks down. We are back.
Happy Friday.
3 weeks. Way too long.
Has it been? No, it's only been 2 for you.
Well, no, 3. It's been 3. Last live was 12:30. Crazy. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Seriously. You know, Friday nights, you probably have a lot of choices, but hanging out with us, that's cool. We like it. We got something fun tonight. We haven't done a game or a flight or anything in a while.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah. Be a good time. But, you know, honestly, we should probably catch you up on where we've been, what we've been doing. A little bit.
The last time I remember was the party.
I mean, I want to clarify that. You remember more than just the party.
I mean,
right?
I remember more than just the party, but I feel like that was the last. Was that the last live?
That was the last live. That was when Joe was here and Mike was standing in back and it was like, I can't hear him and all that. Yeah, you were on the last live, Joe. You really were. Joe, I got to see you this weekend, by the way. I'll figure it out. So, yeah, that was crazy. Since then, we've had a lot going on. We'll cover some of that later. But the reason we didn't go live, you probably saw, we had to say goodbye to our friend a couple weeks ago. And so that was hard. We'll try and stay away from that so we don't get super emotional, but you guys know that. And then last week, in an effort to kind of get out and be normal, we decided to go to Louisville and meet some friends. And yeah, so I'm trying to keep moving and keep talking. You want to talk for a minute? See you? No? All right, fair enough. So yes, that's what's been going on with us. Obviously, I think we explained to you guys last Friday. What do you just tell it?
It's
probably got bourbon on it. It's fine, bear. And want to see you next week? Well, can't you see me tomorrow too, or Sunday, whatever? It's fine. Yeah, she'll see me next week. Yeah. So last Friday, obviously, we had every intention of going live, but we lost the day getting into Louisville. And Louisville was amazing. We'll probably talk about it a little more.
Yeah, for sure.
But absolutely, it was just fantastic. We met our friends Ryan Lawana. Ryan's been on the show before. He did the Country Ham episode with me, and you guys know, talking about that, I'm buying you some time. You good?
I don't know. Am I good?
Yeah, I think so. It's fine. It's going to happen later too. So it's all good. But tonight, I think we got something fun. We'll talk a little bit more about the Kentucky trip after we intro out what we're doing this evening. And obviously, we're going to do more than this, but this will be one of the things. So you probably saw, if you saw a thumbnail already, we're going to have
a battle,
a Wild Turkey bottle battle. And no, we don't have turkeys here.
Gobble, gobble.
We don't have actual turkeys. That'd be probably not viewed very well. We do have some fairly shelfy turkeys. Hey, Ruby Hart, new subscriber. Watch me on the road and saw your excellent samples. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully we see a bunch of you guys tonight. It was wonderful. And so, Ruby, my name's Nate. This is my wife, Sarah. You don't see James. James doesn't usually join us on lives. He's usually just my recorded content buddy. So if you're kind of wondering where he is, that's usually what happens. So welcome and thanks for coming. So we are absolutely going to be doing just a simple Russell's and turkey flight tonight. And so, want to show them the first one?
First one we have is the Russell's 10-year. Yep. So we are working with some new lighting here too.
We've changed our lighting up since we've been live last two, and we're trying to get all that worked out. So we'll get those bugs worked out. We appreciate you guys. So that's the first one. We're going to do this kind of where we shuffle for each other and then pick our best. And we thought we'd come back with something that's pretty approachable for most people. It's available for most people, rather than getting into items you guys can't usually get. There's only one that might be debatable on that.
So this is 10-year. This is 90 proof. So
yeah. So shelfie product, around $40, $45 in a lot of markets, maybe a little less depending on where you find it. This is not a store pick. I think it's important to just say it's just the base store product.
And then we have the Wild Turkey single barrel, Kentucky Spirit. So this was, sorry.
Yeah, we gotta get that focus thing worked out. So
arms aren't working tonight, Joe.
Yeah.
This was a store pick?
No, not a store pick. So this was just one that got distributed. They picked it at the distillery and they sent it out into distribution. Yeah, we got to get the focus working. And we got to get the setup. You know, that's what happens when you tear down after 3 weeks and you got to put it back up. And you got to figure it all back out again. So, and the last one that we're going to be shuffling in here is a lot of people's favorites. I'm guessing a lot of people are going to tell us, hey, I bet this one creeps the top, but you don't know. We don't know.
So this is Rare Breed
Yeah, it is my fault, Joe. You're 100% right.
Rare breed, barrel proof.
But I mean, I had to change it because somebody was on here last that wasn't Sarah. So, I mean, I don't know.
You guys have recorded something too.
We did record. Yeah, so we'll get it right. We have it good on us. We just know the bottles aren't going to show up really well. So we appreciate you guys working with us. That's pretty amazing. So we are going to, in a moment here, mix these up for each other. We probably can't see this that well. We've put numbers on them and we've numbered the bottoms of the glasses. We will just be doing basically some swapping around while we kind of look away from camera. Damien killed an emerald. Whoa. Wait a minute. Hold on. The tree or the bourbon? Because I got to know, Damien. I'm assuming the bourbon. But Ruby, Frey Ranch bourbon tonight. The only bottle I've ever ordered online so far. I have not had any Frey Ranch yet, but I am looking forward to this year being the year that I do get to try those. One of the focuses kind of coming this year for us is to focus on, we will love our products from MGP. It is a rye. That's right, Damien. But we love all our source products and things like that. We'll continue to drink those, but we want to focus more on the producers that actually produce their own this year. So that'll be a focus. So let us know how that Frey Ranch is. I'd love to hear your opinion on that, Ruby. All right, so we're going to go ahead and mix these up real quick. So I'm going to look away, put the hat down. I can't see any monitors on Sarah. So 1, 2, 3, they're just 2 rows. Just put them in front of me however you want. Talk them through it.
I'm kind of, you guys can't see, so I'm kind of just, I don't really even know what numbers I have anymore. So
this is kind of nice. I can just sleep.
I'm just going to slide him in front of him. So there you go.
All right. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do the same for her. I'm going to make some noise so she's all thrown off here. Can't tell me what's what. She doesn't know what's what. And
why are you flaking the bottle?
Because I'm making noise. I'm trying to make like there's something going on here, something crazier. All right, so here's how this is going to work. So we are going to nose and taste through these just like you would a flight, up, down, however we feel. We're going to rank them, and then we may hazard a guess. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we're feeling frisky at the end or not. We did have a little warm up beforehand.
We did.
We had a little Bardstown Origin Series 6.
Yes. So this is their first juice. So when we were in the trail last week, we were able to pick up one of their first bottles. So that's good. Could
not get the bottle and bond. They were out of it at the gift shop. Look forward to it because I had a pour at Bardstown. I like the bottle and bond slightly better, but we did do the review on this one. So that's out there too. So good stuff. All right. You want to jump into this or what?
Let's do it.
Yeah, you jump in and I'll start telling some people about one of the highlights of our trip real quick because I think you'll be okay with this if I do that. So for those of you that haven't maybe been up to the trail or haven't been up recently in the last few years, if you don't know, Castle and Key is just gorgeous. The old Taylor facility. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, honestly, we rolled up there. It was a beautiful Kentucky, just blue sky morning. You go back just off the interstate. It's not really far off the interstate, but you have to weave back to it, and you're on some smaller roads. And then this is from the parking lot, essentially, and you're looking over it. Obviously, the old facility and the old castle, the turret here, it's a water tower because they have a beautiful babbling creek behind here that I didn't pull the picture in for, unfortunately. You're going to see more of us now. You'll see probably Sarah sniffing and tasting. I'll take this down real quick. Let me come over here. And that way you can see that. But this is just a closer view of the old Taylor. I apologize. I'm using StreamYard today, and it's the easiest, to do this kind of stuff. So, yeah, love it. Yeah, it's gorgeous there. It was so peaceful and serene.
That distillery was, the grounds were absolutely gorgeous. The gift shop was beautiful. We are excited to get back there
and actually do a tour because they were really booked up. So we really didn't get a chance to do anything other than walk the grounds, which is wonderful. You're free to walk the grounds at any time. Here's that old stack, that old coal stack or fire stack. That was just amazing with some of the old liquor tanks there. And just the preservation they've done of all the old items is just wild.
Yeah. The way, like, I did look back on their website too. They have some photos of like a wedding that was there. It was absolutely gorgeous. The way they just have like Adirondack chairs around where you can kind of just sit around. We smelled a wood burning fire, but we couldn't find the fire.
we think we figured out where it was. It wasn't where you could actually sit around, but it was actually in the tasting shop.
In the tasting shop.
which is cute. They have this little hut that you go to. You don't actually go to like a tasting room, so you can go get your drink and then get outside. They do coffees and things. So, yeah. What's better than a castle? I mean, not really. I'll be honest with you. You're right. Just people go there, Buffalo Trace. But I would agree with you, Joe. I mean, listen, Buffalo Trace is fantastic, to be honest with you. It is a piece of bourbon history. But in terms of just sheer amazement and wonder, like, there's something special about Castle and Key. Yeah, so
it was just, like you said, it was very, very, I didn't see a cat at the...
Ooh. Did we? No. So it's funny you bring that up, though.
Yeah. So we started when we got in Friday. Where did we end up going Friday? We were going to Rabbit Hole. That didn't pan out. But the very first place we ran into, we did see a cat, and it just like kind of followed us around, and and then the next place we went to, we saw a cat.
Right.
And it was just kind of like there were so many freaking distillery cats, but it was so cool.
So the craziest cat story of the trip was easily at Peerless.
Oh, so
Rye Meow is the cat's Instagram. Rye Meow _ yeah, and just friendliest cat ever. And there's a picture of two ladies on January 15th, 16th, where it's sitting on her lap and we're standing right there.
Yeah.
Old Crow Rick House right around the corner. Yeah. Actually funny you bring up Old Crow because we'll come into that later, but I'll show it now. This Old Crow chess piece was one of the highlight pours of my trip. It was a 1969 Old Crow. It was neat. So don't need to go into that too much now, but just funny how things tie together, right? And all that. So
that trip. So let's see. So Friday we got, I don't remember. Oh, we went
to the Grind Burger.
We got first. The car. We went to Grind. And then did we go to Evergreen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we popped in Evergreen, which if in the Nulu area, Evergreen Liquors, and it's got a bar in it. Very reasonable 1 ounce pour prices if you've never been. It sounds like a commercial for Louisville
for the Bourbon Trail,
and it kind of is, I guess, in a lot of ways. But yeah,
it was just a great time.
So we did we see Rowan at Willett? Because we did go to Willett. We went to Bardstown on Saturday. I can't say we did because we took the outside steps up, and I don't know that we did.
We took the elevator up, didn't we?
No, we took the steps up, the outside steps and the inside steps down the gift shop. Yeah, I mean, there's just all the cats. It was just, we did see a number of them, but I just don't recall seeing one at Unfortunate Castle Key. I'm sure they're around.
Yeah,
I have no doubts. I know where the other one was that we saw at Limestone Ranch, Corky.
Yes.
Yeah, Limestone Ranch Corky was the laziest, just adorable little cat ever.
Yeah.
So 2 questions. We tried the Balboa Rye and we cracked the 6-year malted. So I have tried the Balboa Rye, Nick. I've got it back here. We maybe drink on it later. I had a friend that really, really wanted that 6-year malted. So I actually sold it to him for just cost and delivering it tomorrow. Maybe he'll give me a pour of it. We'll see. I have not yet. And it's okay. You realize you can't taste everything all the time. So I'm not going to get into that, but that's all good. I think we talked about Balboa Rye, but what'd you think about it, Nick? What do you think it's so far?
So I don't know your order, obviously. I'm definitely getting something like this middle one for me is super, super sweet. So I'm getting like creme brulee, like a sugary.
There's one that's a lot sweeter than the other 3. Yeah, I mean, I think most people would probably hazard a guess at that just based off what's out here.
And then this one is definitely toasty. Like there's definitely a char on this one.
Toasty.
With some brown sugar.
I think that's fair to say of all 3, just different degrees, right? You're talking about essentially the same mash bill for the most part. Well, it definitely on the turkeys, the Russells, I have not looked.
This one, I get a little bit of like oatmeal.
Okay, interesting. So I know you haven't had at least one of these, right? You haven't had the Kentucky Spirit for sure.
The only one I think I have had is the rare breed.
Okay, so that's going to be interesting then. I know I've had all 3.
Right.
So may or may not help me a little bit, but I'm still interested in your order. And I can tell you that one of these 3, James and I did not like at all. And they were
great.
At all. Now, haven't had it in 4 or 5 months, so who knows how it's going to turn out. Right?
Right. But, all right. Well, I'm going to get in some tasting.
All right, go for it. I'll tell the people a little more about our trip. Get in some tastings, okay? But I didn't load any more pictures up here, but yeah, we did end up hitting Willett, Bardstown, popped in Heaven Hill real quick. And then Neat.
We did go by
although it was very good, sweet notes, different spice taste, malted, very good, really liked it.
We tried to go to Wordford, they were closed.
that was our bad. We were trying to kind of hit everything out east near Lexington-ish on Sunday. And so of course you really should know better when you're out there, and we should have known better. We all had our phones. But that was a kind of a whirlwind too. So that was Castle and Key. And then we made it almost all the way back
went to Four Roses.
We went to Four Roses. We did something before Four Roses because we backtracked. And then we tried to hit Woodford Turkey. And Turkey. Yeah, Turkey. Man, you know, because I'm a big fan. So talking to Turkey, we're talking Turkey right now, right? Talk to Turkey. Neat is fantastic, Joe. Unfortunately, the store was closed. Yes, how is your Frey Ranch? Corn forward's delicious. You're in Florida? Order if you're able. I believe we are. If not, I've seen it on some of the Seal Box and others. I don't know if we get distro yet. I have not seen it on shelves. I've seen like, you know, if they do like a little event. So maybe they are down here. I'll have to look. Picked up 107. Let me know. You Ohio guys. So you guys know Nick. Nick's my buddy from Ohio. And yeah. Ruby, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've heard good things. So and so Damien, the bar was open at Neat, but the store was not open. So we can order it here. There you go, Joe. We can order Frey Ranch. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to some things like Frey Ranch. I want to get my first Spirits of French Lick this year. I've had opportunities to, I've never bought them. Things like that. I mean, obviously I've got some things back here we haven't reviewed. We'll probably get into some of those this year, even though we know they're not huge hits on content wise, but we enjoy them. Like this Ported Pumpernickel from Middle West. I enjoy the crap out of it. And what you getting over there? I hear a little lip smacking over here.
There's like, so I get oatmeal on the nose and I get oatmeal on the taste. And it's not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Not a fan, she says. All right. Not a fan.
No.
All right.
At all.
Okay. That's interesting. Your tasting note tells me what I think it is already. It's okay. I'll let you kind of decide. That's kind of part of the beauty of this. So one of the things that we talked about,
you can totally see the numbers.
If you're looking, who's cheating here?
You can't see it because of the lights, but I'm just saying, like,
if you really wanted to, you probably could. But we're on the honor system. One of the things we talked about before the show was doing more of things like this with the same distillery.
Yeah.
Because tell them why. I don't want to hog it.
Tell them why.
Because you wanted to help get profiles of.
Oh, so off of air or whatnot, I want to like do some MGP, like just tastings for me, some Brown Foreman, just so I can understand what like their distinct tasting notes are. I feel like because I hopped on probably mid-September. So I've been doing pretty good, not gonna lie, but just still very young to bourbon. And I think that's just a great way for me to understand like when one of the distilleries is known for having banana in there or known for having like a nut hue. I just want to understand more of what like the distinct distilleries and things have. So
we can do that. And so sticking to more of the base product without like the picks and things like that's going to help a lot. So we may do a lot of these type of things. And I think that also is endearing because like, I mean, I can pull out all the finished stuff and all the single barrel picks and all that, but like they may already be gone. You may not have access to them. Where it's more fun for us to come back to this stuff. We want to try and make sure we have a lot of relatability this year. I think, as you guys know, with growing the channel, we do have really cool bottles too because we're trying to get those impressions and whatnot. But you know, at the end of the day, I can tell you right now, one of these three is a daily drinker for me. So it'll be very easy to pull apart. But yeah, Peanut. Are you calling me Peanut? I'm kidding.
So yeah, so I asked him. I don't know. I think we were watching the Bourbon Junkies.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it just popped up, but I was like, pause this, and he like paused it, and I just was like, okay, so like off air and things like that, like can we definitely like you pull these ones out so I can get a better idea of what each one has.
Yeah. Eric, thanks for joining tonight, man. Appreciate you coming over. New to your channel, just subscribe to join with the theme of WT tasting Porto Wild. Yep, barrel proof rye. That's a good one. Yeah, that was a nice way for us to get back into it tonight. Like was to say, let's pour some things that are more available. I mean, it's nice every now and then to celebrate. Now at the end, we have a nice celebration pour because for those who didn't join at the top, obviously the reason why we weren't here for a few weeks was, we had some turbulence start getting into this year, some tough times with family pet and things like that. But so we'll have a little less available at the end here to celebrate a little bit of that. But yeah, Ruby, 3 years in my bourbon. My New Year's resolution is non-blind, compare 2 bottles periodically. Plus, it's fun. Totally agree.
Yes.
We got away from that last year. So I think one of the things, and I know some of you are newer here, so I appreciate that. One of the things we review of common products. Thanks, Nick. That's good support. We love that feedback. One of the things that you heard me talking about a little bit occasionally on some of the recorded content even was, this is such a weird thing. Like, it's not that you get away from enjoying bourbon when you do this. It's that you forget to stop and enjoy it yourself.
Yes.
So we're getting back to that this year. And we're saying, on that random Thursday night, it's okay to pour 2 little 3/4 ounces and just sit there and do a blind and have fun with it. And, because
I think it's good too, like for the novice bourbon drinker. So we have a lot of friends in the area that like are starting to get into whiskey. Even my dad, like he's still new to it. And our friend Ryan, he will admittedly sit on here and tell you, he's like, I can't pull, like he's not able to pull the notes and stuff like that some people are able to pull off. So I think like you said, going back to your average day or your everyday drinker, or like those bottles that people can just easily go and get off the shelf is great content as much as the hype, the next hype bottle.
Yeah. And so that was what the idea was here. Like obviously with the Kentucky Spirit, it's a once a year product. But it is generally available in most areas. It's not always easy to get. The store picks are usually easy to go by, especially if it's a store that you enjoy. But it was something else we learned about this. Like we didn't even pick this up when we did the episode on earlier this year. So Blanton's is widely known as the first single barrel product out of the market that was regularly released. Kentucky Spirit is widely regarded as the second single barrel product that was put out of the market. So I didn't know that. So in going back through this, you pick up little pieces of information.
That's fun.
Yeah. So, and passing that kind of stuff along to you, who knows, maybe you'll be on Jeopardy one day and that'll win you, $100,000 or something. So we
have that nosing kit. It is so much fun. So yeah, especially, just when you're like after the live stream, we like to call it after hours. So we usually have an after hours. And a lot of folks will come and they'll be like, when you say you get dill or when you say you get caramel or, those weird things that James always like in the reviews, James can pull out stuff that I've never even heard of.
Rose water.
Cinnamon.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Definitely pull out that nosing kit and just to be like, that does not smell like banana. That's like Laffy Taffy banana. You know what I mean?
Well, but then that gives you the idea. It's not fresh banana, it's candy banana. Or then you can see where you can pivot from there when people are like, well, this is dried fruit. We're like, well, that's not really in the kit, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because now I understand that note. So you're definitely right, Damien. We did purchase that a while back. More so just for us to kind of continue to go through things. Because there's some of those things that even though that I'm a few years in now, that I'll smell them and I'll go, man, I don't get that.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning, but bouncing things off Sarah, bouncing things off James, I learned their palates and their nosenings. We call them nosenings. And it helps. That's the main thing. So we want to just continue to keep building that and moving forward.
And if you ever hear us say cinnamon, it's actually cinnamon.
Yeah, that's James's fault. That's 100%. He loves his cinnamon. So all right. So
and I usually follow James and I have a very similar palate.
You do. You really do.
Yeah.
James and I are fairly close. But we're not exact. I mean, I think James is a little more spice forward than I am. I tend to be still on the sweeter side.
I'm still sweet cinnamon.
But I don't mind a big rye. So I love high rye bourbon typically. But everyone's different. That's the beautiful part about this. So
okay, well,
are you starting to get some?
Whatever this one is, it's gone and it was delicious.
And you're starting to get some feels here.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't have that one anymore. So what are you gonna do?
No, I don't know.
I haven't ranked mine yet. So you started pulling yours apart.
I have started pulling them apart. What you can't see is like where I'm moving them up and back. So this one is
all part of getting the camera reset because right now it's behind our monitor and I can't. If I shot down, you'd be looking into our laps, and I don't think that'd be very fun. So that's the reason why we're so short on screen too. So and it's also the reason why you see me looking down. The look back's right here. So anyway, a little bit behind the scenes stuff for you guys. I just enjoy all the SGs on the. Well, listen, you have to have a commitment to swirling, man. Okay, even if something's open. By the way, just so you know, speaking of SJs, swirl jobs, Matt Porter, ADHD whiskey, right? We have an episode coming out very soon that will actually highlight SJs in different glasses. And I think for some you may enjoy it, for some you may not. I don't know. But it was just a big question in our mind because we see most people use Glencairns, right? I mean, I think that's the common vessel most people are used to, accepted. But we also then see like someone like Matt that uses the Visky Scotch glass. You have some others out there that use a straight wall glass, just like a rocks glass even. So we said, what the heck? Let's go look at that and see where we land on all this. And I think we'll be editing that down, hopefully getting out this week. So it's very interesting to see how it turned out. I'm not gonna give anything away. And Sarah was SJing down here. She still wants to show you. So we'll do a little SJ right here just in honor of that. There was a school of thought. So real quick, sorry about that.
No, okay.
So James had went neat glass all the way. Well, we'll see. James had went on a couple of barrel picks, and one of the distillers had told him that they didn't think that was as necessary as some make it out to be. So Ruby, so actually, thank you. That's an excellent question because it doesn't actually have bourbon directly in the name, right? And you're like, okay, so how are you landing in a bourbon tube, whiskey tube type thing? So in 2019, myself and a gentleman named Greg, who actually is still part of our channel on occasion, we love to have him whenever he's able to join, started a podcast called 3 Drinks Down. As the name implies, it was a 3-segment podcast. So we would do one segment, talk about it, shoot the crap, talk about whatever. I'd give him crap. He's a Packers fan, so I give him crap about Aaron Rodgers and all that and whatever. He'd play the role of being the kind of like grumpier old guy. He's not old. He's my age. And we did that all the way up until right before the pandemic started. We actually had started looking at YouTube and saying, let's get on YouTube. And then things got scattered with the pandemic. So when we came back, we rebranded as more of a whiskey tube channel. Now, if you look at the logo, we do have craft beer and cocktails, which we aren't as heavy on right now. We will get back into that. It will not be a primary focus of the channel at the moment. Probably not in the foreseeable future either, but it's there. And so that's how the name came to be. We literally would used to sit and have 3 drinks on a show, and that would be the shtick. And kind of the theme we're getting back to with the live shows in particular. There's 3 things here. So we're keeping it as loose but together as we still can with that.
You'll catch. We usually do a lot of stuff in 3s. So even if it's 3 bottles or 3 kind of segments here, things like that. Not typically on the recorded content. That is basically more just the whiskey reviews.
We've talked about how to wrap that back into recorded content too. It's just you don't do 3 reviews in one,
right?
For length and things like that, right? Some things don't make sense.
Yeah, it kind of just it fits who we are.
I cut you off early. What's up? I'm sorry.
I don't know. What were you? No, what were you getting in some of these?
I definitely get one that's much sweeter. I get one that definitely is more cereal or oat, if you will. And then I get one that's just kind of in between the two. And I think a lot of people expect to hear those notes. So, but I'm going to go through one more time and just give myself a little confirmation. I think I know where I land. So I think I know where I land on these, but
again, you've had them before, so I feel like you know exactly what is what.
There's only one that would throw me a bit because I haven't had it in a while. I'm slamming it down. I want to pause. Yeah.
This one is definitely this one is the proofy for me.
Proofy. So that's the other thing. So the one thing we do know is that you love your proof.
I do love my proof.
So that could be interesting. Maybe that tells us where you might be leaning. Maybe just quite a bit, mayhaps, huh? All right. Well, do you want to get into it? Because I think I can rank mine.
Yeah, I can. Whatever this one is my number 1.
Okay. I mean, I've got my order.
1, 2, 3 for me.
I've got my order. Okay. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do your number 3 and look at them?
Sure.
Let me
say what I think it is.
Let me this again real quick. Because I'm a touch off.
What are you getting?
This is the one that's a little more, like you said, I think is the one that you're matching up to being oat or grain, but it's got a sweetness to it. The other one, this one is a little less, just a little more meh. So I'm actually going to put that back in front of there. So I'm good. I'm good. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Do you want to do third place first?
My third place?
Yeah. Pull up your third place. See what the number is.
My third place is number 2.
Number 2. Your third place is the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. My third place? Yeah. My third place is number 1, which is the Russell's Reserve 10-year. I'm a little shocked by that for me. I'm not so shocked by that, but for you, because I got a lot of the same notes from the previous time. So what didn't you like about that?
It tastes like cereal. Like it tastes like straight oatmeal that I just like oats that I pour.
Not enough sweetness.
There's not enough sweetness. I'm shocked on the proof because this is what, 110 or no 100? This is 100.
101.
Yeah, there's no sweetness in this one to me at all.
Interesting. Okay. No?
No.
Good. All right.
No, it's graining.
That's the beautiful thing, is there is just nothing wrong with how you feel. All right.
All right.
All right. So what between number 2 and number 3 was the differentiating factor? Sweetness alone?
Sweetness alone.
Sweetness alone. Okay. 9 o'clock. Hey, everyone. We know we catch a number of people at 9 o'clock. Thank you for joining. We're seeing numbers going up. So if you're just joining us, thank you so much. We are just going through the back end of kind of a 3 tasting of Russell's 10.
Bottle battle.
No turkeys are harmed in the middle of this bottle battle, okay? We have some Kentucky Spirit, single barrel, non-store pick, and we have a Wild Turkey rare breed. So I think a lot of you are probably thinking you might know how this turns out, but let's see. So I'm going to do my number 2 first. Are you ready? My number 2 is number 2. That is the Wild Turkey. Now, this surprises me a little bit, to be honest with you, because I actually, when we tried this the first time, this Wild Turkey neck pour was just really not sweet. And the sweetness has started to kind of come out a little bit as this bottle has some airtime on it. It's actually, before James and I both said pass on this one entirely.
Okay.
Now, that's a regular distillery sent out store pick, or distillery sent out single barrel, not a store pick.
So you can get this in the stores.
Typically? So this just means that no store picked this. They just sent this out. So that's all that means, right?
Right.
And we just didn't enjoy it, but it's come around with some airtime. So I'm going to say it's a little better. And that makes sense why it would be to a regular Russell's 10. And Sarah's number 2? Number 1, which is the Russell's.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would leave your number 1 as, and my number 1 as, I don't think anyone's surprised by this.
Number 3.
Rare breed. Yeah, I don't have to look because I know by process of elimination. Thank you for the drum roll, Ruby. We appreciate it. I figured this would come out this way, because it's just so distinct. But here's the weird thing, right? So we're talking about, so the Russell's $35 to $45, depending on your market. This Kentucky Spirit, $55 to $65. The rare breed, $45 to $50, and available all the time. Russell's 10 available all the time also, admittedly. Just wild, isn't it, right? But,
it's super, like, this is super sweet. I totally get like a creme brulee.
I can go with you that. Yeah. We'll still have that beautiful turkey Russell's profile.
It is super, super good.
Yeah. I
like might be pouring some more right now.
Go for it. Let's sip on that and chat a little bit. I think that's the way to go here. We got to, we're going to be on for a while. So, and we do have one more to pour here in a little bit, but we don't want to get there too fast. So. Hey, Damien, I know you were messaging me earlier on Facebook, or we were going back and forth on Facebook. I will try to make it up to Whiskey Wednesday one of these weeks in St. Pete, and we can chat. We can talk shop up there a little bit, but absolutely would love to meet up with you. So, and chat with you about some of these things, or even if you're ever down south of the bridge, down here south of the Skyway, just pop by our house and kind of see the setup. So, excellent. So, cheers, dear. Cheers to Rare Breed. So that's not to say, I really didn't dislike anything else, to be honest with you. It was the
only one I didn't like was this one.
Eric, I'm 100% with you on that. I've heard people swear by their bottle of, that, and then ours is just, it's okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. February 1st. Eric, I agree. I've had people swear by saying their regular pick or their regular bottle they picked up, not a store pick, was just spectacular. And I can believe that, right? I mean, they're just going through and clearing ricks. Okay, oh my goodness. I mean, I gotta be able to drive home, dude.
I guess I could take you.
Well, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
I'd have to owe you dinner or something.
We were hoping when we were at Turkey they had something different on the shelves, but they didn't.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to Turkey. Like Turkey right now is a bit of an underwhelming experience.
It definitely was, except for when we were checking out. So at Christmas, you'll see we typically have the Christmas tree over here, and we get like the barrel heads ornaments from all of the distilleries we've been to. So we were checking out with our Wild Turkey ornament. And like there's this guy, and it is it is this giant black box.
And I looked over like, what am I missing?
The whole time he's just like, what's in the box? What's in the box? And I'm like, I don't know. So the guy opens it up. It's just one of their turkey decanters.
Well, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. But I'm looking at this thing. It's an empty decanter. It doesn't have any dusties or anything in it, which is okay. I mean, they don't owe us anything like that, right? But I'm looking at it thinking, there's no way that would get home my luggage. It wouldn't happen. It was a decent box, and it would have been cool to be able to fill with something, but I don't know. It was on sale. It was like half off or something because
it was something crazy.
Everything in the gift shop, and I want to go back when they do open their new gift shop and things like that.
But you asked them, so we asked, hey, when's the new gift shop? When's everything opening up? And the guy he was like, go to wildturkey.com and sign up for our newsletter. So if you want any information on Wild Turkey, apparently you just go to their website.
Yeah, when their website says unapologetic, they mean it. Wasn't exactly the nicest person in general, in all honesty, but very honest and straightforward. So we'll give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you could kind of just feel like if I push with one more question, he's just going to be like, I told you.
Well, I think he thought, because I think Ryan asked when or maybe where, and he was just like, you go here. And we're like, okay, you probably get asked that question a lot, buddy. We understand, but we haven't asked you this question. So, well,
actually, the other funny part is we went to check out. He's like, where are y'all from? And we're like, Florida. He goes, you ain't any of those Ohio folks. We've had way too many of them. And our friends, Ryan and Luana, they live in Ohio. And it was kind of ironic, just funny. Like, okay, everybody.
Yeah.
You got to understand, listen, this is the holiday weekend and the Ohio folks.
Probably.
Yeah, Joe, 100%. Yeah. He's been asked that. And so, we realize it wasn't all his fault, but you could just tell there was this air of like, come on, like, guys, all right. He should just make like one of those Wile E. Coyote signs, though. Like, just put it up. That was Roadrunner, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but I said whatever.
Okay. Do you go to Bardstown? We do. We do.
Bardstown is like the Taj Mahal. It is like, I think it's a staple on our trip anytime we go. We did a tour there.
She made me Bardstown in general too.
I know.
Yeah. Cool.
But we made it. We definitely made it there. So
Ohio folks rule. Well, I mean, O'Doyle rules too. Yeah, Bardstown is wonderful. We try to spend a day there, like you said, every time we go. And ironically enough, we probably right. I know. Ironically enough, I'm going back in April for kind of a guy's trip. And then I think we're planning another third quarter trip. Like I think we're going to every quarter this year.
That's our plan.
Yeah. So we enjoy.
Fortunately, we are able to do that now. So
yeah, that's the
unfortunate part.
It's a trade-off. It's a gift, if you will.
She gave us a gift.
Yeah. So we do. We've done a few of the non-distillery things in Bardstown, like Talbot Tavern, which a hot brown at Talbot Tavern is the truth. It's really good. It is down home Kentucky hot brown. Like you can get some other versions elsewhere, and they're good, but they're not that. And then you go upstairs and you see the Jesse James room where, obviously, yeah, Nick, April, I'll give you the details. If you want to go, just drive down and meet us and let me know. It's next to last weekend in April. So I'll text you. But yeah, so the Jesse James room upstairs in Talbot Tavern is really cool because if you don't know, this is something you kind of have to read. They don't have a tour or anything. So I'll just tell you because it's still neat to go see. So in Bardstown, Jesse James essentially had a pardon. He was not sought after by the law in any way, shape, or form. And so he would come back to that area. I think it was the county, actually. I don't recall. It's definitely Bardstown. It could have been the county. And he would come back there to basically hide or out or feel like he'd be free because he could walk around the streets and no one would try to arrest him whatever. And so he's sitting upstairs, as the story goes, in a poker game upstairs at Talbot Tavern. And one of the guys says, I don't think you're nearly as good a shot as people say you are. And so he had his pistol on his side, just like you can imagine, like they would back in the day, right? And of course, to show off, he says, I'll hit that painting over there, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't pull the trigger. He cocks the hammer back and just shoots. And sure enough, there's a hole like right through where supposedly he was shooting. And he did it multiple times.
Yeah, so there's bullet holes, like you can see them in the wall.
And they got to cover plexiglass. They're trying to preserve it and everything. But just neat to be walking around a place where someone like that was at one point.
Well, and it's actually still an active hotel. So or motel, I don't know what they were.
B&B kind of, yeah.
Like you can actually stay there. Again, the food was spectacular there if you're able to get out there to.
Yeah. And then we haven't done some of the places. There's the barbecue place. The name is escaping me though. I'm terrible with names. You guys come know that. Anyone new here, but
it's Bourbon Night. They were there just recently. There's apparently a new steakhouse. I think it's called Tooties or something like
Tookies.
that. Tookies. So
yeah.
There's a new steakhouse there. Yeah. So that's always like, new stuff to I just stuttered.
That's okay. But you got to see Heaven Hill for the first time. Well, I mean, we drove past, but you got to go in Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were leaving Turkey, we were trying to figure out where they were going to put that.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey there. Nice.
Or of Heaven's Door. We like it. Cheers, Glenn.
We're trying to figure
Sarah's
out
dad, by the way, if you guys don't know.
Where they're going to put that new like gift shop or whatnot.
Turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. If you guys know, like so that's literally my first time on property, and I get Warehouse K now because it literally sits out by itself up right on the other side of the hill. So I totally understand all that talk now when people talk about it. But what we couldn't figure out is it that old lodge looking thing that they're rehabbing or building out on the point?
Like if you go around and you're going across that bridge, if you look back, there's a barn and it has like the entire side. Yeah. And the entire side is glass windows. So that's the only lodge.
Does anyone, if you guys know, let us know. Because we had never been to Turkey when they had the old gift shop set up. We assume that's at least gonna be some sort of experience.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool if it's like an Airbnb, you could stay on property or something. But you could kind of see a sign, but we couldn't quite read it back on the road.
I mean, the road is like completely closed. Like there's boulders and bricks in front of it.
So we don't know. So if you guys know where they're building everything new, we saw like they're building a new, what looks to be potentially a new botting facility or something because there's some docks and things. But it's still amazing because I love my turkey. Don't get me wrong. It was just, the gift shop being where it's at. It is what it is. Everybody can do. So
yeah. Four Roses was gorgeous.
Four Roses really was. So, it's just so funny to get that experience of like the Kentucky horse side of things.
That's what I felt like. It felt like regal and like prestigious in there. Like every single rose is real.
Yeah, I didn't know that at first.
They don't have fake roses in there. Every single rose. And they have like all of their workers are walking around with like white gloves and towels, and they are like if you pick up a glass and you walk away, somebody is right behind you like picking it up and like polishing it. It's crazy.
It's pretty wild, and it's just a big open area where it's like how the gift shops are more intimate because they're built in an older space or whatever. And it is not a small house like the one at the bottling facility we found out. So our friends that were with us had apparently left Bardstown one day, stopped at Beam, and then stopped in at the little facility there at the bottling facility outside of Bardstown. And on the way there, they are hello from Washington State, Katie.
Well, hello.
What's happening, West Coaster right now? And they're like, this isn't the Four Roses we saw before. We're like, well, we figured it out. We get it. Yeah.
So, we've talked a lot about our trip. It was like if you get a chance, like seriously, definitely take the time, the opportunity to get down to the trail, any of it. We kind of think one of these times we might actually stay in Lexington because we really like staying in Louisville. But I think we might actually stay in Lexington so we can hit the bigger guys.
So we can hit those out there. We can truly hit Four Roses and Woodford and not feel 45 minutes away from Louisville.
I have not been to Buffalo Trace, so I mean, I think you and Ryan went. We
did.
I told Nathan the other day because when was it?
There you go. Favorite distillery as far as bottles, Buffalo Trace. Love the phrase. See?
Yeah. So I love the Sazerac, so I am a
Sazerac rye fan.
I just think once, I mean, I always told him I would never stand in another line early mornings, but I think I might actually do it. Just have to experience it one more time.
Yeah, it is a fun thing. And so if you go on a weekday, it's not as much pressure, right? You don't have to get there on the weekends now. I mean, they're 15 deep an hour in cars, an hour or two before it opens, and 30, 40 deep back to the road. And then people get out and run across the parking lot once they clear the gates. And it's like, all right, people like they're generally not going to release anything that's that limited. You don't get if you get in line. I mean, don't get me wrong. But that said, if I got an E.H. Taylor small batch, I'd be thrilled because that's a great bottle. Or Blanton's. Like, we're not really gonna. We might make a joke occasionally on the show, but we're not ones to be like, listen, if you like Blanton's or you want it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Drink what you like. That's the biggest thing for
us.
Where
was it that we got lost?
Okay, so y'all can laugh at us all you want, unless you know the deal here. We got lost at Makers.
Yes. That I was like, I couldn't remember where.
We tried to go to Makers before we did Limestone Branch. We did Limestone Branch first thing Saturday morning, which was awesome. We'll talk about that in a second. But which is where Corky the cat was. To tie all that back together. See, full circle.
And we came back one less bottle.
We're not gonna talk about that.
We're
not gonna talk about that. Just stop. At any rate, Makers is not hard to get to. We didn't get lost getting to Makers.
No, and it's actually a beautiful drive.
Right. Well, and we went in like kind of the single lane roadway.
It was a little scary, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, and so we get to Makers and we kind of find where the tour check-in is. Like, well, we should walk down here.
It was like because we were first staying, we're like, ooh, first, like, I mean, it wasn't even. I think they had just opened. It was barely 10 o'clock.
Right.
Barely 10 o'clock. We were super excited.
Joe, I'll tell you in a minute. No, I didn't drop a bottle.
And we're like, oh, we might actually get something if they put something new out on the shelves, or So we're like parked right up front, going into the gift shop. What we thought was the gift shop.
Well, we knew it was tours check-in, but we figured it would at least like have a sign.
Yeah,
that's a big point here.
Yeah. So we everybody's checking in for the tours, and I'm like, well, we don't have a tour, so we didn't ask questions. That was our fault.
There was a lot of people in line.
Well,
Nick, we're getting to that.
No. So we got back into the car and drove around the campus.
So we put it back in the Google bot. The Google bot says, hey, drive around this way. The gift shop's over here. You actually didn't go to the right place. Well, we get to a spot that says employees only. I look at the map. It wants us to drive through their literal production facility, like the outside area of their production facility, to get to the gift shop. And I kind of zoom in. I'm like, well, there are a couple parking spots there. It doesn't really make sense. No, we didn't get arrested. No, so we're like, let's drive around the other way and see if Google recalculates. The other way,
and it says offices, employees only. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, there's a bunch of cars here. There has to be, you have to be able, and as the tour is beginning, it's starting, they're all starting to walk down. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense. This is where we have to go to the gift shop.
Right.
No. Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. Makers, I love you. We did not get any bottles, Nick. And the reason for that is because, one, as Sarah said, there were two people in line for us to feel like we should wait to ask a question. We had to get to Limestone Branch in about 45 minutes. We didn't have a lot of time. It was 8-10 minutes away. So we only knew we had 30 minutes at tops, right? So two, we're just like, well, we'll be able to figure this out. No, their signage is awful on site. There's nothing that if you can't talk to a human tells you should walk down the path further behind that to get there. Now, could we have been inquisitive? Maybe, right? So I'll take all the heat on that and say it's my fault. But I also want Makers to be like, hey, y'all, maybe we should put a sign here because we're from Kentucky, y'all, and we should be welcoming to put a sign here. But anyway, it's not on them. We should have asked. And so
we called Ryan on Luana, and we were like, hey, where's the gift shop? And he's like, oh, well, you have to take, you have to park, and then you have to take the path, and it's across from the restaurant. And we're
there's 300 yards past the check-in where the tours are. I'm like, oh, that makes sense now.
That's a lot of work.
Back to the bottle. We had a casualty in the luggage on the way home.
Someone did. I did not.
Whoa. We. That's fine. So
we had a suitcase that was in the box.
We had a box they were sort of wrapped a little in it.
They were not wrapped at all.
No, they would put some stuff down in there. I felt comfortable with it.
Put a pair of
how much beer allegedly I've shipped and bottles allegedly I've shipped And this was not the worst by any stretch of the imagination that I've ever packed anything.
So needless to say, we get our luggage.
Hey, y'all.
We get our luggage in Tampa. And I'm like, one of these bottles broke. He's like, no, it didn't. I was like, one of these bottles broke. And then like we're lifting it up to put them into the car. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that smells like straight bourbon. Mm-hmm. Needless to say, these are my suitcases that I use on a regular.
Hey, guess what we did? So we had a carry-on hard side bag inside a medium hard side bag. And inside the carry-on was the box with the bottles where we put some limited clothing to help pack it, right? Well, we weren't very smart. And so
we meaning Nate.
Well, okay, you need to start helping me a little bit here. I'll take all the blame for now, but we put the clean clothes in there. Because you don't want to you're not going to taint your bourbon, but we put the clean clothes now. So guess what happened? We get home, we have all the dirty clothes to wash, and the clean clothes have to be washed. They smell like bourbon. Yeah, no, 100% Joe.
We are getting a wine check bag.
That is going to happen.
Yes.
The funny crap is we were at CCB not a month and a half ago, and they had them on clearance. They were like $50, $48, something like that. And I was like, I should buy it. And we just walked right past it, like big dumb animals. Well, me, because it's all me apparently.
So we lost one of our limestone bottles.
It was a single barrel exclusive only. It was cork. Was it the Cats? It was.
We do have those blow up things, and we didn't even take them.
I know, Damien. We are big dumb animals. Well, here's the other part. When we got the notification on Thursday for our flight, we had like one shot to get to the airport because the flight to Miami was earlier than our flight out. Correct? Yes.
What's that?
The flight to Miami that we would have had to switch to was earlier than our flight was originally out.
Yes.
So we had to pick up and run. Yeah, Ruby, it's unfortunate. Yeah. You have 3 for you. Okay, I believe that. Allegedly.
Well, unless we're traveling together, we might have
Eric,
to borrow
I have allegedly used mutual friends that wear uniforms and go to everyone's house every day to deliver bourbon and beer. So allegedly. And allegedly they brought it to me too. I don't know. Yeah, so literally like one of the things that we did a good check of checking down the house because I like threw the out of office on for work. Not a bad idea. I think we're going to drive as often as we can. I just have a trouble driving in like January because you don't know what you're going to get up there. I mean, I have a capable vehicle, but it could be ice and it's not capable on ice. Yeah. So that's a tough lesson. So yes, if we want to chalk it up, if we're counting, that is now 3 bottles I'm responsible for breaking. So
yes, it was the one.
I'm not to be trusted.
And we got that one because of the cat. Like that was the first.
It was Corky's.
It was
Limestone Ranch.
Named that bottle is named after the cat there, which is Corky, and it was the first distillery cat that we ran across, and it kind of just
definitely was
felt like right because it was a furry friend
and it tasted good. 115 proof.
So it was
still there, like
the master distillers. It was her bottle that she picked.
Yep.
So after they've been there 5 years,
after they've been there 1 year, they get to pick,
and then after 5 years, they get to name the bottle.
Something like that. I can't remember the exact story. Yeah.
But limestone, it was a very intimate tasting. Like really it was just the 2 of us with the bartender.
Their little campus is so cute.
It is super. It was so pretty. It was like, and it was starting to snow. So like for me, it felt like a little winter wonderland as much as I hate snow. I just wanted to see like the flakes fall.
You should stop saying 4-letter S words on the show. You know that?
I know. I just wanted to see them fall. I didn't want to see them land and stay.
Yeah. So yes, Limestone Ranch was amazing. I know, obviously, if anyone's out there that has joined that has had some negative experiences with their sister company, that's okay. But they are a sister company with Lux Row, if you guys aren't aware. But we love the experience there. Now, Steve Beam wasn't there. Obviously they called it out. And then I found out last night when we were at the Whiskey Society board meeting or admin meeting, whatever we're going to call ourselves. I have no idea. So apparently there's also a lady that does the picks. Her name begins with an F, and I cannot remember her name. Damien might know it. Joe might even know it. I don't know. And she was not there either. But we literally got the tasting all by ourselves. Mm-hmm. And it was spectacular. It was fun. And the girl was like, you want to come behind here and take a picture? I didn't load that one up, so I won't show that one to you guys because you can see us live right now. So, so they are absolutely sister brands with Lux Row. I don't know if that's just for, I'm 100% sure that they distill everything on site. I think it might be more for storage or rickhouse space, to be honest with you. We didn't ask. That's my suspicion. So, But it was adorable while we're there, and it's just a cute little. You could drive past it on the country road and not realize it because it kind of looks like a little bar with a warehouse, but they're newer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do have like a cute little bar. They do have an outside area there as well. So obviously in the spring, summer, they make killer cocktails. We had 2 really, really good cocktails there.
Here's what you know about Lux Row this year. Ezra 7 Rye is delicious. It's very dilly, but it's very delicious. So, don't know. Yeah, Damien didn't know either. Oh, good. We'll all figure that out. We're going to do barrel picks here eventually, meet all these people. So, It's cool.
But then we had a great, great, great experience. If you do get to go to Evergreen over in Nulu.
Yes.
It is. So it's a liquor store that has about probably about 10 stools at the bar.
Yeah, 8 or 10. And it's not a big bar. I mean, but you can only get a pour and walk around the store if you don't want to sit at the bar.
Their staff is absolutely amazing. We met
Madison.
Which
is funny because, obviously Maddie, we had just said goodbye to.
But I think she was the manager, the bar manager, Dawn. She was there.
Dawn's Joe manager.
We had some of the best pours there.
See, doing Ezra Distillers Collection pickup there. Oh, the Distillers Collection. I would love to know more about that. We got to chat about that. I am a hit or miss with Lux Row, and I don't know if you have an opinion just yet, really.
I don't know.
I think you've had the Bourbon 7-year over that I have.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't know that.
Yeah. I'm hit or miss with Lux Row. Like I don't really like their 12-year last year. It was strange for me. It just was. It actually wasn't oaky enough, was the weird part. I was like, for a 12-year product, this should be a little more oak forward. And it's not. It wasn't that it was lacking, but so I don't know. But yeah, Lux Row. I think my challenge with Lux Row is that it's beautiful. Like their campus is newer and everything, but it's a little sterile in a way.
Did we drive by it?
No, we didn't. So you can get your hand on that Distillers Collection. It's great. Well, apparently Damien may be possibly be able to help that out with that. We love that one, but you're biased. No, and that's the beautiful thing, man. We're all so different with this. Like I can tell you right now, like Blood Oath, most recent Blood Oath is okay. I like the older Blood Oaths, but that's just me. And I don't think that's me saying like, because some of us are from the craft beer world where like batch 1 was better, bro. Right? It's not that. It's just things change.
It does change.
So.
And I feel like as you go along, sometimes your taste buds change.
A lot.
Your tasting styles change.
There are zero doubts about that. 100.
The best part, I think it was the line of the weekend.
He's going to be mad at you, but you're going to tell the story because I'm not. I'm out. I'm out on this one.
Okay, I won't tell it.
No, you should. So we went to Evergreen twice because we enjoyed it that much.
So
Meat was awesome, but it wasn't open the second day.
It was the two of us. We went the first time, and then we took our friends Ryan and Luana back, and we were just having some great
Batch
pours.
1 is always better, Joe.
We were having some great pours, and
well, that's awesome.
Nate was like, or was it Ryan? We were actually at Four Roses when he said it.
Yeah, we were, because Ryan. So this is kind of crazy how like we're on our journeys, right? And like. So Ryan hadn't had a Four Roses he liked. And I'm not the biggest fan of Four Roses in general. I mean, I like them. I think they make a good product. There's nothing I've had that's bad, right? But I'm an E recipe. And then I tend to like the sweeter or more floral. So like OESK is my jam.
Right. We were explaining like what the letters meant, where they are in the, like you can look at their bottle, see where they are in the Rick House.
Right.
Where like if you like sweeter ones, which ones you should get, which
spicier.
Letters spicy. So Ryan grabs one and he goes, "This one tastes like shit. You'll probably love it."
He said it to me. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, that's the line of the trip, but I don't know. I don't know how, he meant it lovingly. He didn't mean like a jerk. And he wasn't joking when he said it like at first. No. He was like just saying like, this one's not for me, but from what I know about you, like, this is what you'll like it.
It was just, the timing was perfect. The way he said it was perfect.
He didn't realize he said it. And I'm like, oh, my palate's shit. Really?
It was just great.
So I brought that back up at Evergreen when we went back. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we really loved Evergreen. Gertie's.
Speakeasy.
Guys, Gertie's. Not hard to find. But you got to know, going to the courtyard where West 6 Brewing is. And immediately across from West 6 is Gertie's. There's a sports bar called Gertie's Sports Bar. But the speakeasy is downstairs from the bar in the courtyard. Worth it. by far.
Yeah.
Great mixed drinks. Decent bourbon selection. I won't say it's the best in Louisville, nowhere, but they're starting to build their Dusties up a little bit. Great experience. It was just so fun. We sat there. The mixologist that was down there was, if you guys recall, I don't know how much you kept up with it. If you recall, about 3 or 4 years ago, there was an uproar about a bar that made Jello shots for the Pappy 15. He worked at that bar at the time. And so, just one of those things that you tie together, you're going to remember whether he did or not. I'm going to take him face value. I don't believe you tell a story like that and tell people that.
Just like, I don't know that you use bourbon for Jello shots.
Well, I think that was the point, right? Oh. The point was like, why are we being pretentious about this Pappy 15? Yes, it's hard to get, but why should it be worth $1,200, $1,500, $1,800, right? Let's make Jello shots out of it and sell the Jello shots for $5,
Yeah.
So, all right. You ready to get into a nice, fun celebration pour?
Yeah.
All right. So
if you're still just joining us, if you're just joining us, or you haven't been on the channel, you're new to us. First, definitely we appreciate you for joining us this evening. If you haven't subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button.
Please do.
And we definitely like comments and hit the thumbs up for our like. But
ooh.
We had to say goodbye to our fur friend, our fur baby, our one and only. Nathan and I do not have two-legged children. We had a four-legged baby.
Mm-hmm.
And she was our pride and joy. 17 amazing years with this little sassy little Spitfire right there.
Yep.
So we had to say goodbye on January 6th. So
2
that's why we have not been on the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to now travel a little bit with each other. We are going to be able to, but
yeah. She for the last few years, she had medication feeding schedule and things of that nature that we wanted to tend to. She had a good quality of life up until the very end. So we're going to celebrate a little bit with special pour.
So if you have a special pour, definitely put that in your glass.
While EC18 would qualify, Nick. That is absolutely special pour.
While we pour these up for her.
Just tell them what we have.
So we are doing the Russell's Reserve, the 13-year barrel proof. Nathan picked this one. When we were there, anything that kind of reminded us of her, we kind of picked up. So it's a white label. She was a white pup. So that's kind of how we decided to do this. We were going to do the Unforgotten, but there's something coming on that already. That was our first pour that we actually had Friday.
EW12 would be appropriate, Joe. It really would. So if you don't know what to drink and you're looking for something special, she was a spicy little dog. So if you have something spicy in your collection that you enjoyed, that would be the perfect pour.
So I apologize to you guys right now.
Yeah, we didn't mean to end on a downer, but thank you, Ruby. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
And yes, we're using mini cleanse. Our hands did get bigger.
She's so little, so we decided to use the mini ones
that we picked up at Four Roses.
Picked up at Four Roses. She was our pup. So this one's for you, Moo.
Yep, it's a Moo. I would normally not take a sip initially, but felt it was appropriate.
But anyone that ever says that it's just a dog, I just don't know. I don't know how you could say that.
Well, there are people that just have them as dogs and whatever. Sure. But yeah, so we didn't mean to be a complete downer. We thought we would tell you, thank you guys. Yes, it was very hard. So new. Yeah. And, but we knew that last week we really wanted to get
with
you guys. I had a mobile setup that was going to work. The audio wasn't going to be great. With the trip the way it timed out, it wasn't perfect, but it was going to do. So thank you, Eric. Appreciate you guys. But this worked out a lot better because I think it let us compose ourselves a little bit. We didn't want to be a complete mess. We don't mind sharing emotion. I mean, it is what it is.
We're human, you know what I mean?
But it was nice to be able to come on and enjoy with you guys and whatnot, and have this just be kind of a normal, because it's it's a year of anytime you have a loss, it's a year of firsts, and a year of firsts is always hard. So, but this honestly was. Probably we didn't do any top lists this year because the channel kind of really kicked off honestly mid-year. We started in March, but it really didn't hit stride until late June, July. If I would have done top lists this year, this Russell's probably would have been at the very top, if not the top. This is batch 2. This was the one that came out in early 2022. And after it came out of the neck pour, it really starts to open up and it just got really beautiful. I enjoyed it quite a bit. What do you think so far?
It has that a spicy note.
Appropriate, right?
It is. I mean, it has great.
It's so weird. The mini glens are so weird.
I feel like you get better nosing on it though.
It's weird. It feels like it kind of like the glens are supposed to kind of like buffer you or hold the alcohol, the ethanol. It feels like it does that better, or it lets it out faster because it doesn't feel as tapered. But yeah.
I'm getting like baking spice, like
no doubt. Do you get any underlying nuttiness at all? Now that I said it, you might, so I shouldn't have done that, but
a little bit. It's more like not like the other OD, but it's like good oatmeal. So it's like warm oatmeal, not dry oatmeal. Like
I can see warm cereal, warm oatmeal.
Yeah.
I kind of see that a little bit. I can see where you're going with that. Pull any fruit?
Cherry.
Okay.
Go cherry, with you brown sugar.
All right. Cheers.
Again, cheers.
Of course. It's that next level off these ones we had here. And that is not to knock these at all.
It definitely is.
What's the oak, where the weird part for me, and I don't know how it was for you, I don't get a ton of oak off the nose. It's there for sure, to be sure. The oak comes back on the palate so nice. And some of that age is coming out with some of that. There's some rye spice in there a little bit. Just an enjoyable pour. EC18. Nick, you know where I stay on EC18. It's just not my favorite, but I'm glad you enjoy it, dude. I did actually get to try another Knob Creek 18 last night, and it changed my mind about this year's Knob Creek 18. So I'm open to EC18 because they're single barrels.
This has a very long finish. Like it's still like in the back of the throat.
It's not super heavy oily, but hey, Raining Whiskey, we just went ahead and poured a Russell's 13. What are you drinking on, Raining? Raining. It's terrible. Raining. Yeah. And has anyone else poured anything else, by the way? Either a special pour or just, moved on to something else. That's what we're looking for. So we're just going to probably sip on this for a few minutes and maybe we try to lead, even though he doesn't probably know it, or he may, we try to lead into Matt at 10 o'clock. And I believe he's going back live tonight. He was at Jack last week. So sipping on Trusty McKenna 10. Yeah. Just ironically enough, just killed my bottle of McKenna 10. Going to be on the hunt for another one. Yeah. So hopefully we run across that. Haystack 14 year. There you go, man.
He's got the good Wedwood collection.
Travis.
Hey, Travis.
Children Irish whiskey. You're drinking some Irish. That's as good as it gets for me. I don't know that it gets any better than that. So how you been, Travis, man? Good to see you. And Raining Whiskey, thanks for joining. We really appreciate you guys.
So go ahead.
No, you.
Was the Old Carter, was that your favorite pour of the weekend last weekend?
I like the Old Carter 9 a lot. Nostalgia wise, that 1969 Old Crow Chessman was absolutely just this stuff is from a different era, and you can still see Sarah, and I apologize. StreamYard just does what it does, and we can't make it any bigger and whatever. But this stuff is just from a different era, honestly. And I got the last half ounce of this one, and so I kind of focused on the bottle, the container there, right? It is not overly complex.
They're all old chess pieces, is what they put them in, correct?
So the Chessman, the Old Crow Chessman, yeah. And I heard her talking to the guy on the way out because he asked about it, and she said they have another one they may be putting out. So our dog's name was Maddie. Yeah, Maddie. So 2 accents, I know, right? So I'll take this off the screen here in a second. But so this was the most memorable of the trip for me, just because Old National Distilling, right? And then, I had totally actually didn't even think about the whole Rick House being potentially on the grounds at Stitzel, or not Stitzelweller, at Castle Key. And so that definitely was. But I would say, as cliche as it is, this year's Pappy 15 is really good. It's really good. And we got that at Evergreen. And it was reasonable for the pour.
So it was crazy. When we were there Friday, they had some good stuff on the bar. When we went back Sunday,
most of it was gone.
Most of it was gone. Like,
they had a Kentucky 18, which we didn't try because we're like, well, if we come back, we'll try it. It was gone.
That's where I had my Stag Junior. It was so good.
And when we say like pricing's reasonable, I mean we really mean it. Yeah, Eric, thank you. With the Russell's 13, I've enjoyed. I've had batch 1 and batch 2. I have not had 3. I've enjoyed them both.
I did get birthday bourbon this year's batch.
We weren't too much of a fan of that.
I was not. It was 22.
Yeah, and it's like when we say reasonable, like I think the Pappy was 35 or 40. It wasn't crazy.
It wasn't.
They're not out to gouge. They want us to go through these bottles,
Yeah. I had a good E.H. Taylor there.
Your straight rye. You love your straight rye. Yeah. But I mean, literally, I think we had 4 pours over 2.5 hours and walked out with like $122 bill. And we weren't necessarily buying like, the bottom shelf stuff. We were buying the decent stuff. And you could certainly spend a lot more money there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they do have some pours they're asking for a premium on because they're just that limited. But yeah. I know, Damien. I think I still have a little bit left from the 12 days stuff we did. Which that was a fun series. I'm going to continue to do that every year, the 12 days. And I think most people look at it and go, 12 days? Isn't the 12 days leading up to Christmas? No. I'm not the most holy person. Okay, let's just say that. But the 12 days actually starts after Christmas because it leads up to the Epiphany.
The day on Christmas, I think, right?
Yes, day of Christmas, the evening of Christmas, and leads up into January 5th when the Epiphany happened, which I learned all about that. So
with the 3 wise guys.
3 wise guys. 3 wise guys. The 3 wise guys. They're from Jersey. With Jersey Mike. Oh, hell.
I'm going to have to come up with a really good one next year or this year now.
No, I think it'll be more fun. I think what I'd love to do, and I'd love to know if you guys would be interested in this. I'd love to do it where like we get people committed to 2 ounces out of a bottle.
And we can do it.
And we do a bottle bus swap. Use guys. Hey, use guys. We do like a bottle swap. And then what I could do in theory is I could actually do like recorded content with a group of people. Whoever can join, we go through day 1. Whoever can join, we go through day 2. And it's more of a roundtable content. It will look like a Zoom meeting, but we have to be very careful how we do it. But we could do it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
I don't know how I feel about that. It's interesting. I
don't know. It's a thought. But it was definitely fun content because it was something to do throughout the holidays, and I was able to batch it. Not bat shit. I was able to batch it. So, but yeah,
I'm definitely not getting the caramel on that. But
no.
What is that noise?
Probably me. I don't know. I get like mid palate before it starts to go spice. If you don't, you don't. I'm not, again, how I feel, right?
Yeah. You've learned.
I have learned.
He's learned.
I learned. There was one time I got way over my skis.
One time early in these live streams,
I got way over my skis.
He got very mean to me. No, not really. He just hurt my feelings.
It was not appropriate. We have a special restaurant where you eventually killed the Stag Junior bottle, and we have pours of Cal 15 and Weller full proof. That is definitely a special restaurant. I'm glad you guys have a place like that. So, Ruby, where are you guys located? If you don't mind saying state's fine. You don't have to say exactly where. So, this one time at band camp,
that's what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Stag Junior. It was batch 12, right?
Yeah, we have a little bit left. If you want a little sample up there.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, go for it. It's right up there. I'll get it.
Batch?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a little Stag Junior 12 left here. Go for it. Yeah. We need to kill it anyway. And since Ruby brought it up, in honor of Ruby, there you go.
Oh, well, once I get my Russells finished.
Yeah. And also, so another thing you might see this year is we're going to focus more on samples because it's just too daggone stinking expensive to try and land bottles all the time. But you can, honestly, if you trust folks, you know them, you get to know them. They couldn't read that, unfortunately. But
no, I know. I was just showing the little guy.
Do you want this? It's fairly clean. Actually, it is clean. There you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we're probably going to end up getting a lot more samples this year. Illinois. All right. Very nice. We used to live in Ohio. So just a couple states away. We were former neighbors. There you go. Stag Batch 12 is very unique in a good way. And if you've never had it, I don't want to ruin it for you. But it absolutely is. Can we finish that for you?
Yeah, because I want the Stag.
Okay. Go 12. Go for it. But it absolutely is. A lot of people consider it the best batch of Stag, as I'm sure many of you know. Wow, we are almost soft focus, really close. We gotta be careful. I think it's wonderful. I don't know how I feel about it compared to 16 and 13 and a couple others. And I've not had the older batches of Stag, and I'm really just not willing to spend $600 on all of Stag. So maybe 200 most. We don't see it down here. Unless it's a pick that happens, somebody happens to get down here. We don't see it. Doesn't happen.
It's so much cherry.
It really is. So good. Yeah, that one is way fruit forward. Way fruit forward, bro. But, so at any rate, we are probably starting to wind down here. As we mentioned earlier, we try to lead into giving you guys a few minutes to go to the powder room if you have to. But Matt Porter, ADHD Whiskey, on at 10 o'clock. He should be live tonight. I didn't check, so if he's not, don't shoot me. Check his YouTube channel. Hey, Mark, what's happening, buddy? Yes, and Sarah, which is the more important part. You are 100% correct there. So count you in. All right. Yeah, Mark, thanks for joining, man. We were just getting ready to say we're kind of winding down here, but we wanted to make sure. Oh, Scott. Sorry, Scott, didn't mean to skip over there. 200 million left. That's your Stag. I'm saving. Right? Yeah, it's hits so different, good. Doesn't it? The batch 12 just hits different. So, and in fact, we actually double dipped on the samples because we did a sample. We did a series where we're comparing store picks to the base batch products, which shockingly turns out very different depending on which regionality. There's a ton. So, how was I able to score the handy? I did absolutely have a friend in Kentucky that helped me out with that. So they saw them much sooner than we did. And I will tell you that I did not pay exactly retail for it, but I didn't pay full secondary either. So that absolutely was something that every now and then I did hear about that, Mark. Cheech's winter warm up. Let me close out with the handy thought and then I'll come back to that. So every now and then, like once a quarter, James and I made a conscious decision to help grow the channel to get a bottle that has some interest like that. James happened to have a 2020 Stag from he literally found it at Walmart, if you can believe that, of all things, like literally back in like 2020, right place, right time. So he traded up. That's how we got the 22 and whatever. And then we got a sample of 22. Yes, I did see that, Cheech. I'm trying to figure out if I can make that because I'm doing Whiskey Weekend also. I think you're coming with me Whiskey Weekend now. Fortunately, unfortunately. Mark, are you going to go? Are you going to be in town for Cheech's Winter Whiskey warm up? Because I think we can make it. I know it's up in St. Augustine. We should be able to make it work. I just got to look at the calendar again. We're only like 3.5 hours from Cheech.
And he's in St. Augustine?
He's like St. Augustine. Yeah, that area. Okay. Well, the event's going to be there. I'm not 100% sure exactly where he is.
I thought he was.
No, Jeremy Sires is St. Augustine.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah, we're excited to get over to St. Augustine. We were actually just talking about that the other day. Like we might just do a quick weekend trip and go like drive up Friday night and stay the weekend. So.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, Mark. So we're gonna take a peek at that again. I'll look at it. I definitely joined. It might have been in late December when he was talking about it, and I was like, man, that sounds like a wonderful time. We have to look at the calendar, see how it works out. So I don't know what the options are either. I don't know if you can just come up one night or not. I don't recall. I remember he was talking about it. He said it was like a package thing and all that. And but for a 3.5 hour drive, we'll definitely make it up. If there's an option to come up and like just do a hang one day, then we'll definitely be there for that. I just don't know if we can do the whole weekend or not yet. So, pretty preliminary talks and stuff, but I think our whiskey group is looking at trying to do something early next year for a larger whiskey event too in the Sarasota area. So we'll see. There could be a lot more going on down this way for you guys for everyone have a chance in the winter to come to Florida, right? Because that's the best time to come down to winter. We know from Illinois and wherever else you might be, that's Ohio. The time you want to be down here. Yep. So we're talking. It's early on. It might be myself and another up and coming whiskey tuber, YouTuber, podcaster, Whiskey Straight Up. You guys have heard me talk about him, or it could be our Whiskey Society. We're not sure how it's going to fall out yet. So very, very early on that. And the early working titles like Bourbon at the Beach. So we'll see. But
that's cool.
Yeah,
you didn't tell me that part.
Well, I mean,
I like it.
Right.
I mean, I don't like the beach part, but
at the same thing, like we want to be careful, like because obviously if Cheech's event is like an annual event in March, we don't want to double dip too much. Close. Yeah, right. Because we want to be very careful. So then obviously you have Whiskey Weekend, which has been March, and then the next. Well, there's a lot of events, but the next one that a lot of people in the tube community look at is like Junkies Pours in the Park. There's stuff in between, of course. So definitely. But that's been fun. Like, I mean, just getting to know the people in the community. Screw the beach. It's funny, Damien. So just a quick side story. We went to Hawaii before the pandemic. We walked out, put our feet in the Pacific, and then did not step on the beach the rest of the time. Just because that's, it's just unfortunate that like we have it here and you can go anywhere you want. And
like, I enjoy seeing the water. Like, we love seeing the water, but I don't want the sand. It's just
gets everywhere. But yeah, so I'm sorry I hadn't shared that with you.
I like it because you were telling me that you other name ideas. So that one,
that was for the other thing, but yeah. So we have been, trying to obviously reach out and talk to people. And I think some of you are here tonight because obviously we've been talking to David and Jamie quite a bit and we love them. We cannot thank them enough. I just want to be on record out here saying Whiskey Row, Beyond the Row, thank you so much. We are obviously patrons of theirs. We were in the patron spotlight, but they did say, please feel free to mention the channel. And this is just on the heels of meeting them in Miami when they came down over Thanksgiving weekend. And just communicating with them and talking with them. They invited it. Obviously, it was an open invite for the Whiskey Holiday Bash.
Well, and
that was wild.
If you saw any early of Jamie's Beyond the Row, we kind of have this.
We have the same wall.
We have the same wall. The exact same wall. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
We did rap about that when we met in Miami. We're like, all right, we got ours on like clearance at Lowe's for $8 a roll. And she's like, holy crap. So yeah, but this tube community is amazing. You guys are amazing. If you're here, you already know that you guys are amazing. We honestly just love doing this. A lot of big things planned for this year. We hope to grow and hit some critical mass. If I'm rubbing the crystal ball, I'm hoping by mid to late year, we're also talking about a track that, we maybe stand up something like a Patreon and can give you guys a little more and things like that too. But we want to make sure that it's there and that we're able to commit to it fully before we can do that for you guys. So in the meantime, don't be afraid to tell us any feedback.
Yes,
you're not hurting our feelings.
We definitely love your feedback. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please definitely subscribe.
Yeah.
Hit that like button.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate you. Cheers, buddy.
Thank you. And yeah, I
think we have to maybe end on the new phrase.
It's all you, baby.
All right. So throughout the course of the 12 days, I think I landed on something for Sarah and I, maybe my individual content, maybe not for James and I, but one of the things we wholly mean and all through all this is like what we enjoy about whiskey. The brown water is great. Mark, thank you, buddy. We'll see you soon, man. We may be over on Matt's and I'll say hey to you there too. Actually, I think we will. But, have a pour, make a memory. And that can be as simple as just getting the crappy day out of your head. That could be the memory you're making. Or that could be something where you're reminiscing on a memory and making a memory in that moment. But please, whenever you're having a whiskey, any chance you get it, have a pour and make a memory if you can. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll see you soon.
Cheers. Good night.